You now have to do something very, very strong against ISIS. You can't let this happen.
Then what do you do about Kim Jong-un and North Korea? President Obama has just signed increased sanctions, but they've had a recent nuclear underground test, and they've shot off a rocket or a satellite in the space. What would you do about Kim Jong-un?
Well, we lost a great opportunity, because when the worst deal that I think I've ever seen negotiated, the deal with Iran, where they got $150 billion, when that deal was made, they are the #1 partner of North Korea. So we could have had something in that deal that they have to solve or help solve that problem, #1. Now they have a very wealthy partner. They had a poor partner. Now they have a very good, because Iran has become a very wealthy partner. But they are the #1 partner of North Korea. We did nothing. We never even put it as part of our negotiation, and it should have been. Perhaps even more importantly, China. Without China, North Korea doesn't exist, because everything comes through China. China says they don't have that much to do. They have 100% to do. They're taunting us, okay? They're just playing with us.
Well, China doesn't want Kim Jong-un to fail, I don't think, or to fall apart, because they fear that the people from North Korea are going to flee into China. They don't want all those refugees.
But you're right. But China has tremendous power over him. I mean, in terms of food, in terms of everything, in terms of just getting there, China is the key.
But Iran's now got money and is helping them.
Oh, now Iran is helping them. We could have starved them out, but Iran's got so much money. We gave them $150 billion. And again, the dumbest deal I think I've ever seen negotiated, not between countries, the dumbest deal, period. It was the most incompetent deal. We should have had our prisoners back years ago. They should have come back. You shouldn't have started the negotiations. You should have ratcheted up the sanctions against Iran. You would have had the prisoners back 4 years ago. Okay. What we should do is we should go to China. Just so you understand, China needs us very badly, because they're taking all of our money. They're taking all of our jobs. It's the greatest single theft in the history of the world, what China's done to the United States. We have tremendous power over China, but Obama doesn't understand that, and he doesn't know that. We have to get China to solve that problem. The other thing, we spend a fortune protecting South Korea and many other nations. They are an economic behemoth. We have to make sure that South Korea reimburses us for our real costs. You know, we have 28,000 soldiers on the line, 28,000 soldiers between North and South Korea. I wouldn't want to be one of those soldiers, I'll tell you right now. But we have 28,000 soldiers there. We have to make sure that South Korea, where I order thousands of television sets a year, I mean, they're all coming out of South Korea. It's LG and Samsung. We have to make sure that that country, South Korea, where I have very good friends. I have buildings in South Korea. I have actual buildings in South Korea. And I say that despite this. They have to reimburse us. We are a nation that's in debt. We have $19 trillion in debt. With the deal that was just made, the omnibus budget deal, which is one of the terrible deals, it's going to be $21 trillion in debt. They have to reimburse us for our costs.
All right. Something that drives me absolutely nuts is when the Justice Department signs a big deal with a big bank, like take Morgan Stanley, which according to their settlement agreement they had just recently, that there were misrepresentations. I call them lies. I call it fraud, which contributed to the 2008 financial crisis. But there are no indictments. It's just a civil settlement, and it doesn't seem like anybody ever has responsibility for these giant things that happen to our economy like that, where there are material misrepresentations. Would your Justice Department have criminal investigations?
I think so, yeah. I think so. I mean, there were things that were done that were very illegal. There were things that were done that were very bad. They have good
Do you have any
lawyers.
problem with the fact that it was strictly a civil settlement?
I don't have a huge problem with it, because
Why?
I understand. But
do you know who pays? You know who pays for this?
I fully understand.
It's not the culprits. It's the shareholders, and those are going to have to, the shareholders pay for it.
Yeah. Look, if somebody did fraudulent, absolutely. If somebody made bad business decisions, absolutely not. You know, you can't. The problem
Bad business decisions with misrepresentation?
No, that's okay. No good. But here's the thing. We have a banking system now that's run by the regulators. I mean, you have these bankers that you know and I know, and they're making $30, $40, $50 million a year. They have no power in the bank. The whole banking system is run by regulators. They're the real power. Government regulators have
what would you
the
do
real
about
power.
It?
We have to open our banking system. You know, we had no growth last quarter. You saw that. Practically zero. It's unheard of. If China goes down to 7%, it's like a major catastrophe. We had zero growth, practically zero growth. We could have zero growth this next quarter. Our country is stagnant. We have nothing going. You know, we get larger, we have nothing. Our country is doing very badly. We have bad jobs, very bad jobs. The job report is a phony report. It's made to make, politicians look good. Our real number is probably 25 to 30% unemployment. You understand what I'm saying. You look for a job, you can't get the job, you go on, statistically it's considered, you quit looking. Statistically you're not looking for a job. We have no growth. You have to let the banks go out and loan money. I have friends, they can't borrow money. They're good people, good developers, good business people. They can't borrow money from the banks.
All right. CBS Scott Pelley asked Secretary Clinton, it said whether she has ever lied to anyone, and her response was, well, you know, you're asking me to say, have I ever? I don't believe I ever have, ever will. I'm going to do the best I can level with the American people. So the same question to you. Have you ever lied to the American people?
I don't lie. I mean, I don't lie. In fact, if anything, you know, I'm so truthful that it gets me in trouble. Okay? They say I'm too truthful. And no, I don't lie. I don't lie. And, you know, I'm self-funding my campaign. I tell the truth.
How much have you spent so far?
Probably $25 million. It's a lot of money. My money. You know, it's my money. It's not money from an electric company. It's not money from a lumber company. It's not money from Johnson & Johnson and pharmaceutical companies. Like Jeb Bush gets all this money from these pharmaceutical companies.
Why do you talk about Jeb? He's not even like, he's not even your competition.
No, I'll tell you why. Because he spent $20 million on negative ads on me. Nobody else has. He spent $20 million on negative ads. So I hit him whenever I get the chance.
How about Senator Rubio?
Well, you know, we've had a pretty cordial relationship, actually, relatively speaking. It'll be interesting to see how he does. It's going to be a very interesting Saturday.
And Senator Cruz?
Well, he lies. I mean, he's really lies. And Rubio actually called him out. I was so happy that Rubio said that, because I've never heard a politician actually say, you're a liar. And Rubio, during the debate, said, you're a liar, meaning to Cruz. But he did. What he did to Carson, Dr. Carson, was a terrible thing. He said that he had left the race and, you know, vote for him. And he knew about it. Then he calls up 20 minutes after the election's over and he says, I'm sorry, big deal. They should frankly overturn that decision. They should overturn that election. But what he did to Carson was terrible. The voter violation fraud paper was, in my opinion, was a fraud. And he should have never been allowed. I've never seen anything like that. And he lies. I mean, he lies about my stuff. He lies about records. And he lied about Rubio.
If you are the nominee, what's your criteria for a vice president?
Somebody that can be a great president. You know, it's really a simple criteria.
Got any names?
I do. I have names in mind, but I didn't want to think about it.
Someone in politics, or would you go out of politics?
I would go in politics because I'm out of politics. Now, I've been a politician all my life in the sense that I deal with politicians all my life, but I am, you know, look, I would rather get somebody that could really do a job within politics. We don't need two of me. We need one of me, and we need a politician, and we have to get the right guy. I can't believe that I'm sort of a politician now, but I guess one day it was going to happen.
What surprised you about the media covering your campaign?
Well, I think the media is very dishonest. The political, you know, the financial media is different because you have a job and it's sort of like you make a lot of money and they report you made X dollars and, you know, it's a little bit different. I find the political media to be very dishonest, like 75% of them. I think it's a very, very dishonest group of people. The amazing thing is the public understands it. And if they didn't, I wouldn't have the kind of poll numbers I have. I mean, the public gets it. I talk about it. But I find the political media to be unbelievably dishonest.
What do we get wrong about you the most? What do you think? How do you think you're most misunderstood? About what?
I think I'm a really nice person, actually. I mean, I'm a person that loves people. I love the people in my audience. I love the people that are supporting me. And every poll says Trump has the strongest support, meaning the people that are with Trump they're just with Trump. Whereas you look at some, it's like they're at 10%, they could change 90%. With me, it's up into the 90s. They don't ever want to change. I love my people.
Donald, thank you for talking.
Thank you very much.